this is going in the vlog. So today my mom, Chloe, and I are on our way up to Dublin for the Trans Healthcare March. So basically, trans healthcare in Ireland is absolutely terrible and something needs to be done about it. And so we are going to march for our rights as trans people living in Ireland. I have my trans colours on my eyes. I also have my trans flag here. So basically, any surgery that a trans person wants to have, we have to go over to the UK to have it, which is absolutely appalling. It just shows that, like, okay, yeah, we have our Gender Recognition Act, but really, that's just the tablecloth hiding the dirty table beneath. So we got our large coffees because it is Sunday. Do you want to explain to the viewers at home, Chloe, what you've done? Let me see your large coffee. At the moment, I'm a tiny bit crazy. I changed hormones, so now I'm on 2 mgs of Fematab. But yeah, my hormones are all over the place. I'm acting totally crazy and I don't know what the hell is going on or what's wrong with me. Well, I do, it's the hormones. But anyway, so if I'm acting strange or if I'm just like a bit loopy, then that's why. And yeah, I keep fighting with my mom and Chloe because I'm just so agitated. But yeah, it should be a good day. I hope to meet up with some of the girls from Dublin, and then we're meeting Ayman afterwards for some lunch. Then my mom and I are going home and Chloe's staying up in Dublin, and I'll be returning to Dublin on Tuesday for my psych evaluation, and once I get that, I get to have surgery. We've reached our destination, but we cannot find parking anywhere, so it's so crap. But there's loads of people there already. Okay, so there's a car park just around the corner. Chloe's being really annoying. I don't know what's wrong with her.
I love
she
how
actually
culture Dublin is, do you know?
She had 2 shots of fucking coffee in her flat white, which is tiny.
So hi guys.
Get
So
out.
welcome back to the vlog.
Chloe, get out.
So right now we're parked in Satanza Place.
We'll get back now for like 50 euro.
So a few more people arriving. Looks like an alright turnout. Hopefully there'll be more people too. So good.
That tastes terrible. I'm like, alright, let's go. I'm okay there.
So, thank you so much for being out here today, and the turnout is incredible. The weather was going to say we were going to be rained on, but let's hope it stays like this for the next little while. So what I'm going to do firstly is I'm going to introduce our first speaker. This is, many of you will know her already. This is the fierce Sarah Phillips, chairperson of TENI and Intersex Ireland, but more importantly, very long time activist for the trans community. So I'll hand you over to Sarah here now.
Thank you, Noel. It's so wonderful to see you all here today and have such a massive big crowd. This issue is obviously very much at the heart of the trans community. It's very much at the centre of the rights that we know we still do not have. But I have to ask, why are we here? You know, why are we for the 3rd time in 20 months having to come out onto the streets and make our voices heard? And I see today we're going to make our voices heard because it's still not good enough that trans healthcare has not moved into the 21st century in Ireland. And as Ireland in recent years becomes more inclusive, why are old narratives, old fears, previously foisted on people of colour, people who are gay, now being foisted on trans people? Why are they so afraid of us? I have been out for over 26 years. I am transitioned for over 15, and I know who I am. I know my gender identity. I have always known, and I guarantee you, all of you know your gender identity too. So why does the healthcare system in Ireland insist that they know better than us? The World Health Organization moves towards moving trans issues out of the mental health section, and while other countries move towards a more progressive informed consent model, Ireland takes a retrograde step in our healthcare. The promises they've made are just not good enough. They have not improved our system. Many of us still wait. Many of us still are on waiting lists to be on waiting lists. Many of us still experience long waiting lists, still experience invasive questions when we do get to see the appropriate people. This isn't good enough. It still needs to be improved.
Want to be trans, and that's when the truth of the Irish healthcare system hit me in the face. I was there to prove I was trans, and their assessment was to prove I was anything but it. That it wasn't my gender, it was a response to trauma. That it isn't my gender, it's confusion stemming from my family dynamics or my sexuality. That this isn't my gender, it's a mental illness. This is the result of using a psychiatric model on non-psychiatric patients. The effect of a viewpoint that being transgender is the last desirable answer is just pure ignorance. I had 7 months of evidence that HRT was the correct and right treatment for me, that it's improved my life, and I was committed enough to stick to it. But it is evidence that evidence is not valued by our current system, which does not follow international best practice, that is not led by gender experts, but by endocrinologists that decided to pick up a hobby and won't share it with anyone else. With criteria.
5 years ago, I moved to this country and I fell in love with it. I realized I wanted to spend the rest of my life here. 4 years ago, I was in a pub just down the road and I met a trans person for the first time. And I looked at them and I realized that's me. That's what I am, that's who I want to be. That's how I want to live my life. And that was the first step in a journey that would take many steps. And the problem started 3 years ago when I went to see a GP for the first time. And they told me they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what the services are. They didn't know how to help me. They told me to go back to the UK, where the only choice was for me to out myself to my family because I had to use my home address, and that's what happened. The UK gender surgery outed me to my family as a trans woman. That's the provision for healthcare in the UK and in Ireland. I was stuck in limbo between the UK and Ireland where no one wanted to treat me. No one wanted to add me to their waiting list, because that's all I was to them. I was another number. I was another person they didn't want to deal with because they didn't have the time and they didn't have the patience. I learned that the only way as a trans person that you can access healthcare in this country is that you have to learn the systems. I remember opening that letter and thinking, this is it. I have an opportunity to not live in a body that causes me dysphoria every day, to move through the world in a way where I don't get misgendered every single day. And you know what was on that letter? I got told I was number 284 on the waiting list. I was told after 2 years of waiting that I was going to have to endure more years of waiting. I think too, but I don't know. I don't know how long I have to wait to access healthcare in this country. So on November 25th, myself and 3 other trans people occupied the Department of Health because Simon Harris was not willing to listen to us when we said things need to change in this country. And we got our meeting with Simon Harris, and he did sit down and he did listen to us. And you know what's changed? Nothing. Nothing has changed. HRT waiting lists have increased. More people have been refused HRT, and HRT shortages are looming, and we have been told nothing about what will happen after October 31st. There are no top surgeons left in Ireland, and there are no surgeons providing gender affirmation surgery, and this is not good enough. And we need to change this now. So we're here today to talk about the truth about trans healthcare. And the truth is, they don't care about us. They never have. They don't listen to us when we speak out. And you know what? They're probably not going to listen to us today. I have a feeling like maybe tomorrow everything isn't going to be sorted out. We're going to have to come out again and again. And we're going to have to speak out louder and stronger because people are not listening to us and things need to change. The real truth about trans healthcare is this community. I have seen people survive things you could not imagine. This community is stronger than you would ever believe. And we are strong together because we fight together. And that is what's going to change this. We are going to come together as a community. We are going to speak with one voice and we'll say, Minister Simon Harris, Leo Varadkar, the teacher, we do not think this is good enough and things will change. Thank you very much.
When we come together collectively with one collective voice and one message that this is not good enough and this needs to change. Thank you all for coming out and taking the time.
Over. That was so good. So we just stopped off for some petrol on the way home. I think we're about halfway home now. I'm super tired and had a really good day, but I'll tell you more about it like either when I get home or tomorrow possibly. But yeah, I'll fill you guys in on everything that kind of happened.